Welcome back, ghouls and goblins. I hope you're having a magical day. Thank you so much for taking the time to support the channel. We're back with a new Mythic Rank deck for standard best of one in Magic the Gathering Arena. It's Mono Red Aggro, a deck that I actually have not played in, well, what I feel is years competitively. What is, in fact, the first deck I've ever reached Mythic with. So if you want to go back and check out some old content, just search for Mizium Tank. It was my favorite. So much like that deck, this deck is very similar to the meta deck that you're seeing everyone run, with a little bit of adjustments for the card totals to fit, my personal feel and play style. I'll reveal all of that to you today within the video, both the deck list, the strategies and synergies, and along with how I'm utilizing those with this list, so you can mimic this and be successful as well, right? We're also going to demonstrate all of that within our Mythic Rank gameplay footage against the best decks and players in the world right now, and we'll wrap up with our final thoughts, deck review, and of course our pack opening. We have a few stat boosters to go, but we also have some collector boosters to get through in the upcoming videos, which is super exciting. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so yet. It truly does help myself as a creator and encourages me to push out more content for you. You can also become a YouTube member for access to our exclusive Sunday streams here on YouTube, where we challenge each other and build new decks, and it's just a little bit of a tighter knit environment where you can engage with me in real time. So cheers to all of our members. Thank you so much for the support, and again, all of you just for taking the time to watch the channel and leave those likes. Let's take a look at the newest red deck wins. All right, here we are. Probably the most unique thing with the build is my card values. Obviously, there's nothing in here that's groundbreaking like my Mizium Tank. Oh man, I love that deck. It was so cool with all the wizards, and then I would play Mizium Tank in this deck. It would fit perfectly with the Swiftspear, and maybe that deck should get an update for Historic 4 Explorer, because it was mean. But if you're interested in that, go for a little dig. Maybe I'll find the link and post it below. It's probably fairly embarrassing, as I've grown quite a bit from as being a content creator. LOL. Anywho, it's, on to the new deck, HGG. Quit being distracted. 18 lands, a 1.6 average mana value. That's the first thing that we want to take note of within this build, right? Very quick. Light on lands, and you know what? As someone who's making new decks every day, this 18 lands felt phenomenal and still feels good as I played this deck for multiple days now. I think about 10 hours in total this season. And, it's consistent with its land draws. I've played decks with 24 lands, 26 lands, and not had as consistent land draws as I have with these 18. It's ridiculous. I don't understand, but, I'm not going to complain because it's phenomenal. It's so good. We have one copy of the Crucible of Defiance. This can, be channeled to come in for some additional attackers. They're not artifacts, they're spirits, they're not red sources, so they're not going to trigger the warfare, but 2 damage is 2 damage, and, a chump block from lethal and allowing you to respond in return for lethal is a nice play as well, right? So, it does have its use here. We're not using Mishra's Foundry. You're going to be like, oh, you should have Mishra's Foundry. No. We have so many 1-drops in this deck that we don't dare take a colorless land. You're brave, walking all over people who are running Mishra's Foundry. It's fine, but we don't run out of cards. We're spending our mana every turn. We don't have time to use this land that's going to get removed anyways. And I understand it's cool if you do get your field smashed in with a wipe, but is that 2 damage going to be enough? Probably not. Maybe it is, I don't know. But again, for me personally, it's about the consistency, right? And I would rather be consistently casting all of my spells, utilizing all of my mana with these 1-drops, flooding the field, then risking and be like, oh, well, maybe they have a field wipe, and maybe I have this land in play, and maybe they're already down to 2 life, and this helps me get lethal, right? So, it's a lot of maybes in that last one, and I just like to have the sure thing of like, I'm casting all these spells all the time, every match. So that's what we're utilizing within the deck is, just a ton of these 1-drops here. We'll be refilling our hand to continue playing with the Reckless Impulse for 2 sorcery speed. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Again, this keeps us going. It's also going to trigger the Monastery Swiftspear. And then we have the Feldon Ronom Excavator for 2. It's a 2/2 with haste, and it cannot block. And whenever it's dealt damage, a similar function where you get to exile the top X cards of your library, where X is that damage, and play one of those until the end of your next turn. You do have to choose it right away. But at the end of the day, shouldn't really be a problem. Our highest priority pulls will be A, lethal damage, B, the warfare, because that's going to be really nice. This is basically what the deck is built around. An enchantment for 3. If you're unfamiliar, I don't know where you've been, but if a red or artifact you control would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it would deal damage +1 instead, right? So, obviously looking for this. As our field gets wider, this becomes much more viable. Typically, not dropping it on turn 3. However, it is an option. I would prefer to use Squee on turn 3 and then come back to Warfare with an even wider field, unless we're worried about a field wipe the following turn, in which case we play the Warfare, keep Squee in hand so their wipe hits the field, Warfare's already in, and then squeeze out with haste, right? So, this does depend upon the matchup, right? You're going to really have to decide what your best route is, right? Is there a field wipe next turn? If yes, play Warfare, take your extra damage now. If no, play your Squee, get a wider field. Warfare next time should probably be lethal at that point, to be honest. So, it's the little things like this that we do have to take into account when we play the red deck. I know a lot of people say it's brain dead, and well, it's kind of, but you can definitely make misplays with it as well. With that being said, it's so powerful that there's a lot of wiggle room if you do. Alrighty then, so we have direct damage in the deck, which will trigger the Mechanized Warfare, through all the creatures that we'll be attacking, but also through the Epicure. Enter the ability, 1 damage to each opponent, create a blood token. We have Play with Fire, 2 damage to any target. If it was a player, scry 1. We have Kumano. When it enters that first war counter, 1 damage to each opponent and planeswalker that they control. Now that's really nice. We have my favorite, End the Festivities. 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. Phenomenal. And then Lightning Strike for 2, dealing 3 damage to any target. Right? So a couple ways to be dealing direct damage to our opponent. And then, of course, we have all the creatures attacking. The Epicure attacks, the Phoenix Chick, as a 1/1 attacks with flying and haste. If you're attacking with 3 creatures, you can actually bring the chick back from your grave with an additional +1/+1 counter on it for 2 red mana. Very acceptable. That is really, really cool. That Swiftspear attacks. It has prowess, so whenever you're casting a non-creature spell, it's going to get +1/+1. Really good damage output here as well. Kumano faces Kakkazan, will transform into the Etching as a 2/2. If a creature, with haste, if a creature would die this turn by a source that you control, dealing damage to it, it's actually going to be exiled instead, which is really cool for, potential graveyard control. Feldon attacking for 2/2. The Squee attacking as a 2/2 and then creating that goblin. Whenever it attacks, create a 1/1 red goblin that's also attacking, which is phenomenal. Recasting it from our grave by exiling 4 other cards and paying 4 mana, which is fine. The replayability is really nice if your opponent is using non-exile based removal. So, a ton of ways to trigger that Warfare. Really, the only thing that doesn't trigger it is our Reckless Impulse, but that Impulse triggers the Swiftspear. So that's a-okay. Typically, we are sending all of our direct damage to our opponents directly to lower their health total to 0 right away. However, we can potentially open up our attack lanes if it translates still into damage, or as a priority if it has life gain, right? If it's just a regular creature, there's a good chance we can ignore it and just race. If it has lifelink or life gain abilities, we want to prioritize that so they don't, get it triggering. All right, so that's the deck. There's really not much to it. At the end of the day, the meta is filled with aggro decks, like a lot of them. There's so many aggro decks, it's ridiculous. End the Festivities is going to save you so many times. I know it's questionable, and I questioned it when it first became popular as well. But even if you're just taking that 1 damage directly to your opponent, that's fine. It's not that bad. It triggers the Swiftspear, and more times than not, it's going to get its value worth in 2 for 1, 3 for 1, 4 for 1, 5 for 1. Right? So End the Festivities is a fantastic card and my favorite in the deck when combined with the Mechanized Warfare. I could talk about this deck all day, but it might just be better to showcase it within Mythic Rank. Of course, thank you for watching this portion of the video as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Reach out in the comments below. The only thing I forgot here is the second trigger of etching. Your next creature enters with a +1/+1. Try to put it on the Phoenix Chick so it gets nice damage in. You can also potentially put it on the Swiftspear so it gets its power up to 3. And then you're dodging, maybe your opponent's Mechanized Warfare and the Festivities on their end. But these are really minor things that only come into play. I'm sure less than 1% of the time, right? So cheers, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube membership. Don't go anywhere, because not only do we get those matches, but we're going to tear into some packs as well, baby. Let's go. Our opponent goes first, which is unfavorable. However, we do have 2 lands, which is our main objective. Going first, 2 lands. Let's freaking go, dude. Impulse on 2, confirming the 3rd land if we don't find it. Here's what it is. It's not pretty. We don't get land, but what we do get is closer to the land on the library from our next draw. Zzz, hopefully just 1. Ay, 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 papi. Well, let's throw down another impulse. We do find the land, which is our main goal. We will hit for 2. Pass over. Becomes Sunset Revelry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's limit their draw. Simultaneously scrying. They could remove etching here, and that would kind of trim their hand total down. And you'd still get the draw at this point. However, they would not get the 2 tokens. 2 1/1s at stake if I have more creatures in play than them. Oh, it's paying for the counterspell. I like it. Here's a draw. Here's 4 life. And here's your 2 tokens. Warfare out. No attack. They would double block. Can we avoid having our Warfare removed? Our hand is quite good if they don't get it. If they do, it's not great. It's funny how a single card can change your hand in such a fashion. 3 mana up. We find our 4th, which is phenomenal. Let's clean the field. Hit for 3. 5 total for the turn. Creature in for another 2 to 14. 7 for the turn. And we'll end here. I'm gonna pay life for this thirst. Six mana. We're in farewell territory. Invoking Atraxia. We have 4, 7, 8, 9 damage. Oh man, we are close. Do we try to go for lethal? We almost have to, don't we? Oh. So have they played a land this turn? Oh, thankfully. We either get it or lose. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Let's go. First we scry. Get that out of here. Then we draw. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies. Big money! And then we send it home. That's an important part of the deck, is saying that. Big money, no whammies. Good game. You get it or you don't, so you better try to find it, you know? You go first. Check. More than 2 lands in hand? Check. Okay. Let's keep 7. It's going to be turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. Spear is good with the warfare because he gets pushed up, right? It's a non-creature. Three. 16. It's a good start. You know, definitely not bad. This is going to be really nice as well if they do assemble any creatures. It looks like they will here. This is going to be able to dodge it though. That's got the 3 toughness. Cool, cool, cool. I guess they're debating whether they should defend or not. No, they're definitely going to use us as an attack. Looking for just a land, I guess. Because we have to cast it. So. Land from Exile is always a little bit better. Let's hit for 13. And next turn, we can actually kill the Swiftspear because we got a secondary warfare, which is just like, you know, God bless. Here's fine. 15. Phoenix Trick is fantastic. This is a good value. This is a high value play. Should result in the win, taking 5 damage to 10. It's considerable. Cycling, so we know they're tapped out. Oh, AO River. Can I get a what? Now that is juicy. Right? I mean, saved by that secondary warfare. Very nice. All right, so going first, check. 1 land. Ooh, that sucks. we'd have to risk it for the biscuit, and I just don't think that is a reliable strategy. You know, you can't consistently be risking biscuits, or you won't have any left by the time it's dinner. So 2 lands, or we 3 land it straight into a confirmed Squee. 2 land it. We'll get the 3rd land, don't you worry. Let's take the Summoning Sickness off the Voldaren Epicure. They can both hit on 2. There's that 3rd land. Cut down incoming? No. Interesting. Squee at the ready. And then we're going to top deck a Warfare for turn 4. Because you don't really want to play it on 3. Like, I'd much prefer to play Squee most times. There's a good chance this gets dunked on, but AO River, your mono red deck, cast from the left, let's go. It's pretty easy stuff. Which is nice if you have like a movie to watch in the background or something. Like, you know, your kids are here, like, play mono red. You don't have a lot of time. We do get dunked on, which is to be expected. We do have the Impulse, at least. Pot of Greed. Okay, so that's a fantastic name. I just realized that. I cast Pot of Greed. 0 mana, draw 2. Nice. Let's Impulse it. See what we get. Oh, hi. Hello. Alright, so that Festivities is going to kill Kiki eventually, and, you know, hopefully maybe a few other things. We could even top deck a land next turn and get right after business. But preferably we're waiting for the, you know, it to flip, and then we do get Kiki. That's probably just better in general anyways. Uh-oh, that's really good, that's really good, that's really good. Life gain, our worst enemy. My nemesis, any form of lifelink or life gain. It's crippling. Wow. It's not great. You know? It's not good, man. We need simultaneously to draw 4th land and a secondary Festivities. Or I guess we don't need the 4th land. I was thinking, oh, now we... Oh no, because I can sack Kumano. Epicure goes... We're lucky that Kumano's here to take the heat from the Warfare, because it's an enchantment to sacrifice that. I think we're already done. We need a 2nd Festivities off the top. Or, like I said, another Warfare and a 4th land simultaneously. I guess fairly unlikely. Halfway. I think we still just are forced into it, aren't we? Because their field state's too big. It's just what it is, because they're going to copy it with Kiki, and that's a terrible time, right? So maybe we can race. We have 5 cards in the grave, which is enough for Squee next turn. Let's see what happens. Pay life for your master. What do they call this? The underdog. I think they should blitz the underdog. Pay 2 life. Oh, this game's left. And takes my Squee. Free, dude. So that's pretty much game ending. If they didn't block, we'd have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not enough. kill the Flesh Gorger is also brutal. So close. And if it wasn't for that life gain, we'd be doing just fine. Imagine if we did go for it. No, I guess we still would have been a bit shy. And they would have known not to do that. And this still gives them lethal, right? They get the creature. Which takes us to 6 and gives them lethal. It also gives them life. Good game. I mean, you know, you win some, you lose some. We got pretty close. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. I mean, which way we block either. It's nice to get the good blocks. I'd like to block the Trespasser. Obviously, it's a form of life gain. You can't block the Gorger as menace. Great match, Pot of Greed, and I love your name. Going first, check. 2 lands, check. Some 1-drops, check. I'd love a 1-drop creature for our next turn. Preferably a Swiftspear, if I had to, you know, ask the shuffler. I mean, that's not the worst, I guess. Shuffler's fine. 3 Kumanos. It's really cool if we do get a creature next turn for the double trigger. We'll get that boon, right? Ooh, the life gain. I guess I'm just gonna look at land, right? We take all forms of life just immediately. You know, that's probably acceptable too. Life gain is our nemesis. Get rid of it. I mean, I want to impulse and get these warfares up, but I don't need them being, you know, 3, 6. Who knows how many life? Okay. 3rd land. Nice. Double transform. Here's our first. I believe attacking and forcing the tap and discard is worthwhile. Hopefully they don't have a Sierra Paragon to replay. Oh, but there's the discards would go to the grave. The deaths would not. Right? Dead creatures are exiled. That land, which I guess can be played from the grave. This is not a threat though. Adeline is more of a threat because this is hot. Are you defending? Will you hit for 2? Defending. Second Warfare out. Allows us to continue our barrage. It would kill Adeline if blocked. And the discard is acceptable. They get a slight edge because the card that, you know, is being protected from the future card doesn't have summoning sickness, it's already in play. We'll get this Adeline. What do we get from hand? You know, as long as, again, as long as they don't play a Steel Seraph, I think they just discarded it. So they should have taken advantage, played the Steel Seraph, and just gone wild with life gain. They probably have another. Why discard it? Yeah, exactly. I totally understand, bro. It's good thing we have 20 life, because this is disgusting. Much better with Adeline, mind you. Alright, so we can at least threaten the Seraph. I'm gonna block it, but Hopefully we get to land on the impulse and we can just Phoenix check as well. Yeah. BEA beautiful. And we're coming in heavy. As long as they don't play a Phyrexian Vindicator, fingers crossed, we should be okay. I gotta cover my eyes, you know, I can't look. Maybe I'll peek. I think we're safe. That was a good exile though, on my Phoenix chick. They give the Guardian lifelink and then enlist to gain 5 life, but you know, you do you. They're gonna try to block the Swiftspear. Not a bad strategy. Ooh wee. I still kill the Seraph. Right? We would have only been at 9 damage if we sent it home. The block for Indestructible here doesn't get the trade because we're at a 2-3, so it just hits for 4 to 6, and I feel confident with our next turn. Ooh! I like Late on Arms instead of a card. Oh, Adeline's back in play. That sucks. A good blocker, you know. What blocker? I mean, I think it's lethal either way. This one's a little bit cooler though, right? Okay. Nice top deck, HCG. That's fantastic. Alright, I mean, this is just how it is. I can't help it. Going first, check 2 lands, check. We even have a third. Keeping 7. 2 squeeze, you know, one of these could be something else. Not a land, but, you know, Phoenix would be cool. Swiftspear would be cool. Mechanized Warfare would be pretty cool. Tick tock, hello, good game. What's the holdup, bro? If you're interested, it's twitch.tv/hello good game. Then you too can log in to the stream. Check out that hand. What's it look like, Dougie? I need to know. Oh, what an amazing advantage it is to see your opponent's hand. Or not. Maybe something else is happening. It just seems a little suspect. Typically a top mythic player wouldn't just walk away from their computer. You know, they kind of know what's at risk. They worked really hard to get there. You know, it's what it is. We'll see. We'll see. It's suspect. It's you know, looking forward to the match is what I need to say. Oh wow, you're here. Hello. Oh, what a copycat, you know. Oh, we have fun. Impulse Adelphia? It's a good remix. Okay, Epicures with a Phoenix, I assume. I'm with fire on your turn. Wow. Almost. Don't see her hand because they're definitely gonna block Squee. And then we would just replay it. Let's just take it and keep our edging in mind. Squee can come out a little later. That's fine. It's gonna get exiled here. They probably attack, so there's no blocker. Ooh, I like that. They're gonna remove 2, keep it. It gets bounced the turn after, which is actually pretty decent. Right, not bad. Can we top deck a Mechanized Warfare for the Omega lulls? And then... That's the thing, you can't screen sheet the top deck, baby. Let's go! It's the heart of the cards. It's the heart of the cards. Because if we had it, they would most likely say, no, I'm not bouncing or sacking these tokens. Or removing them, right? And then bounce it to hand. So it's like something to consider if you're them. Maybe they just have kids. I don't know. They're a busy bee. They're like, Dad, play with me. Why don't you love me as much as this game? I'm kidding. I'm sure they love their child beyond all other things. Maybe we can raise them. Let's try it. We're pretty far behind. But with a little luck, and a great top deck, we're on the road. At the same time, they're, looking to do the exact same thing to us. And that would not be great. Okay, this isn't actually worse. I'm absolving them of being a screen cheater. A couple of their plays have proven to me that they are not. I think they're just a busy individual, busy bee, It was suspect at the start. When someone just so slow to start, it's like, what is happening? You're good. You're good, bro. It's a big hit. Wow, are we dead? That was 11 damage here. I'm gonna say no. Like, not even close. What'd I say about that top deck, Dougie? It's too bad they beat down our Squee. We have to clean it up. Down to 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Dude, what's mine say? Okay. Salute, bro. Nice. Nice. So red deck still winning. No Annex, no Embercleave. I truly never thought I'd see the day where such a generic red deck was so competitive. Now, this Warfare is good. Is it played in modern burn decks, though? Or is it too slow? Probably, honestly, too slow. However, for Standard, it's fantastic. And now, you may be tempted to play this on turn 3. And like I said, you can definitely do that. But the wider your field goes, the more viable it is, while now not losing tempo. So try to treat it like an Embercleave, where it's your last card played, boom, here's lethal, let's go. And this way you're not losing tempo by playing a 3-mana, most likely taking your entire turn off to play it, right? So, that's kind of my hot take. Let's now look at the stats of the deck. Here we are. Red deck wins. Of course, if you do support the channel in any way, through the Twitch Prime, through the YouTube memberships, also through the Patreon, you're going to gain access to my Untapped profile full-time, okay? Which is really cool. You get to see all of the current deck lists, the statistics for them. Very fun experience. We have a 64% win rate, going 156, playing for 10 hours and 30 seconds. BEA beautiful. Very nice progress through Diamond and into Mythic. our win rates against some of the most popular decks are as follow. Mono red, 57%. So I'd say that we have an advantage with this list over the other lists that you see people kind of downloading from the internet, which is fine. An example, I'm not using Chandra. You know, I probably have less lands, more one drops. It's a little bit of a different feel where we're just more floody. But at the end of the day, this could have easily gone the other way. 88% against mono white. You know why? End the Festivities. Just a phenomenal card. Prioritize their lifelink or life gain. Shouldn't be a problem. Azorius soldiers, the exact same thing. 63% win rate. That's good considering how often we see these decks. And the Festivities coming in hot for the win. Mono black. I guess not enough life gain, Sheoldred. This is a tough matchup for us. 58% still with the slight nod. Very prevalent deck within the meta still. Top 5, right? And, you know, at the end of the day, if they pull Sheoldred and draw cards, you might be in trouble. If they get Sheoldred and don't draw cards, it's easy to chump block and throw more damage into them. If they're only gaining 2 life and unable to draw, right, just off their regular draw step, we should be able to outpace that damage, right? So it's really only when they do get lucky and combine that Sheoldred with a whole bunch of draw, right? Selesnya, we have 70% against the enchantment deck, which is really nice. This one's kind of skewed because it's not only the enchantments, but it's also the toxic that we see circulating around quite a bit. So, you know, and the Festivities is dunking on any might-based deck. Toxic is just not even a concern. At the end of the day, they could go first. They could get really lucky with that protection and dunk on us still. Having a harder time now with the Rakdos, you know, 4 and 5, not great. They've got Sheoldred, they've got draw. Kiki Jiki is there, right? So very good deck, Rakdos. And my least favorite and our also least successful deck, the Esper Legends. Because now they have Connive through Rafine on top of Sheoldred's ability. They're gaining 6, 10, 250 life a turn. It is redonkulous. And then, you know, Orzhov, 6-0, undefeated, 100%, get wrecked. Mono blue still actually circulating around, going 3 and 2, a little bit of Gruul that had the upper hand on us. And then, you know, we get into some outliers, some jank decks, just some 1-ups, which are really cool matchups as well. We have our play history as well. 80% going 4 and 1 within today's video within Mythic Rank, which is pretty cool. And 67% from Platinum 2 all the way into Mythic Rank 16 yesterday, which was a lot of fun. So that's the deck. That's what we've been using. And now let's tear into that pack. I know you want the pack opening. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Let's go. We have to get through our regular set boosters before we do the collector boosters. Because if I open this box, I ain't ever going to open these other packs. You know, I'm just going to open these. But we will run out of the regular boosters soon. Right? 1 video a day. Oh my God, this is not a good opening experience. I don't like the new super slit. Okay. So we have a Sulflum as our art card here. Absolutely phenomenal. So shiny. The art cards are almost too shiny, you know? And then let's flip through these here. The new 4K capture card. Really nice for the cards here. Like you can actually read them, right? That's so much better. 4 Mirrodin's a pretty cute mechanic. Really good in limited. It's fun in standard, but I just don't think competitive. With Elish Norn, it's neat. With Monarch, it's neat. the Fisher, right? You know, these are just competitive cards we're seeing now. Every pack is going to have some undesirables. That's what it's all about. Sometimes we get some bangers, though. We have an alt art Blight Belly Rat. Only about my 18th copy of that. An alt art Thrumming Bird. Our rare will be the Corpse Puppet for 2. Bless Thy Toxic decks. Can't stand them. Oh wow, our 16th Blight Belly Rat. This one's holographic alt art. Wow. 1 Blight Belly to rule them all. And then we get a Stalwart. Very nice. 3 mana. 2/4. With training, it's a human warrior. For 5 mana, a tap and a discard. It's going to deal damage equal to its power to any target. If excess damage is dealt this way to a creature, draw a card. Not too shabby. For 3 mana, too. As a 2/4. That's a playable card. Very nice. Sure, it's only worth about 5 cents. Refocus. Who wants to focus on my mic? Maybe this will work. One last attempt. It's a blurry outro. Not safe for work outro. Oh, there he is. It just takes a second. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you had a magical day. Sorry for supporting Mono Red, but it's just been so long since I've actually done it. Like I said, check out the Mizium Tank video. That's probably the last time I played Mono Red aggro in Mythic, straight up. So deal with it. I had fun, and a lot of other people have fun playing Mono Red as well. Not everybody has the time for the 10-minute match. Some of us only have 30 seconds attention span, you know? So would you rather that or get roped? Is Mono Red or rope? You decide. Well, cheers. We'll see you soon in the next. Take care.